Hey y'all! Welcome to episode 13 of my playthrough. Today we're starting the first build in the village, the library. I'm really excited for you guys to see it. Also, I hope you all like anime, because that's mostly what I talked about this episode. Because I'm a big-ass weeb. Remember to like and subscribe, and follow me on Twitch to see me live. I stream on Saturdays. Links are in the description. Now let's get building! We are doing thing. We are doing thing. And by thing, I mean we are going to be building our first build in the village. And that is going to be the library. I'm gonna take off my socks because my feet are hot. Get off me! Get off me! Yeet! Oh shit, did that hit the bedside table? Oh shit! I am just like in this weird crackhead mode right now. I'm very hyper right now. I have here, not only have I terraformed a big section of land for the library, I have collected all of the blocks I will be using in this design. Well, most of them anyway. They're not all here, because this is going to be a big build, actually. This is going to be like a relatively big library, a 2-story circular dome kind of thing. And I don't know if I'm going to get it all built in one day. Well, actually I'm not, because I definitely don't have all the bookshelves I need. This should be good right here. Alright. Start with a center block. And 4 on either side. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4 on this side. 1, 2, 3. Wrong spot. 4. Alright. Now this is the tricky part. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then one more. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, jeez. Why did that scare me? There we go. Alright. Then 1, 2, 3. Why do I keep doing that? Okay. Hopefully I did this correctly. If not, I'm gonna cry. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Alright. 1, 2, 3. This should be the last of it. Alright, moment of truth. Did I do this right? 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. No, I did not. Fuck. Okay, where did I go wrong? Where did I go wrong? What did I do wrong? 3, 1, 2, 3. There we go. Alright, it's fixed. There we go. Let me go ahead and point. This is the center, I believe. So I'm going to go ahead and open the spot where the doors are going to go. I'm going to sleep through the night, and then we're going to do the floor. I'm going to go ahead and put all these back. Woo! Oh, my favorite Minecraft theme. Yes! Oh my god, I love this song. I love this song so fucking much. Oh, wrong one. Okay, here we go. Now then, let's go ahead and get digging. Let's get digging here. So we can put in the floor. Oh, there that went. That didn't take long. Actually, let me... There we go. Alright. So... what do I want to talk about? Well, for starters, last stream I mentioned I was watching Moriarty the Patriot, which is a really fucking good anime. So I continued watching that, and I've now watched all of it. So I'm sad because I don't have any more to watch. Which is actually, it's funny because I think I finished watching it the day the OVA released on DVD. But I don't know where to get that, so I haven't gotten that. So I haven't watched the OVA yet. But I did finish watching Moriarty the Patriot. I finished watching the anime on Funimation. It's really good, and I love it. They've only released, like, the first... Whoops. They've only released the first half of the anime dub. So the rest I had to watch in Japanese, and I think I said this last stream. I prefer dub to sub just because I have a hard time reading and I have a hard time comprehending things when I read them. Like, I also said, I've discovered recently I have a better time wrapping my head around reading if I'm reading out loud. Like, I actually ended up doing that. What was it? I've talked about Bones in the Ocean before, which is a really good fanfiction, a good Dream SMP fanfiction by Bunflower. I still want to do a live reading of that at some point. But sorry, my brain flatlined again. Back when I first tried to read Bones in the Ocean by Bunflower, I started reading it. Like, I read maybe the first chapter, and I just sort of read it in my head, and I had trouble wrapping my head around it. Bunflower has a writing style that I can wrap my head around. That is something I struggle with certain authors. For example, in high school, I read The Hobbit. Like, my plan was to read The Hobbit, and then I was gonna read Lord of the Rings afterwards, because I thought, might as well read them in chronological order. So I read The Hobbit, and I got through it okay. There were certain scenes that confused me. And actually, back in middle school, when I read The Hunger Games, when I read that trilogy, there were certain scenes that I couldn't wrap my head around with that either. And, like, certain scenes just went completely over my head. Like, okay, major spoiler for the end of Mockingjay, so... But it's been, like, over 10 years now, so I'm gonna go ahead and say it. If you haven't read Mockingjay or seen the movie, stop listening now, because I'm gonna spoil the ending. It's been 10 years, more than that, actually. So the scene where after they took over the Capitol and everyone was like, let's have another Hunger Games with the Capitol kids. And Katniss was like, yeah, sure, let's go with it. They go on about that, and then Katniss kills, I think her name was, like, Penny something, or something Penny, but, like, the lady who basically became the new president. Katniss killed the new president of the Capitol when she was supposed to execute President Snow. And, the whole thing was that Katniss was planning to do that all along, but she went along with everyone else being totally okay with another Hunger Games. But was planning on assassinating the new president because she knew it would just be history repeating itself. All of that went over my head when I was a kid. When I read that and they were like, yeah, let's do a new Hunger Games, and Katniss was totally down with it, I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Katniss? I trusted you! And even after she killed the new president, I was still oblivious and like, I can't believe her. And then when I got older and I looked at the plot again, I was like, oh, she was deceiving everyone so she could get close to the president to assassinate her. I get it now. So, yeah, things tended to go way over my head things have always gone over my head with books, even when I was a child. The plot just went completely over my head with Hunger Games, and honestly, just any and all books I've read since I was a kid, plot tends to go over my head. Oh my god, reading books for high school was just a train wreck. The Stranger, that barely understood. The only reason I understood Romeo and Juliet is because I had to read it 3 fucking times in high school. I'm not kidding. I had to read Romeo and Juliet about 3 fucking times in high school. And chances are, like, I'm gonna be going for, I don't know how much reading I'll have to do, since I'm going for a writing degree. I don't know if I'll have to read any more fiction for my writing degree. I'm not sure, but I'll probably have to take some English classes or literature classes of some sort in the next couple of years of college, especially when I transfer over to university. So I'm willing to place money on the fact that I'll probably have to read Romeo and Juliet a fourth time. As you can tell, I look forward to it. Note the sarcasm in my voice. What are some other books I had to read in high school that I couldn't wrap my head around? I could kind of wrap my head around Animal Farm, but not entirely. Red Badge of Courage. Still don't know what the fuck happened there. All I remember is that the guy found a dead guy and he didn't want to be at war anymore. That's all I remember. That is literally all I remember from that book. I couldn't comprehend anything that book said. And then when I talked to my mom about it back when I was still in high school, I was like, we're reading Red Badge of Courage and I don't know what's going on. And she was like, oh, trust me, when I had to read it in high school, I couldn't understand it either. I had so many cliff notes, and now I don't know what to do with any of the cliff notes that I have. On one hand, I want to get rid of them because I'm currently not using them. But on the other hand, in the off chance I have to reread some of those books in college, I kind of want to keep them, so I'm very torn. Alright, now we'll collect all these and all these. But anyway, I went off on a complete tangent. Nope. Let's not put that there. Let's have these here instead. That'll be good contrast to the wall here. Alright. So, I was going on a tangent about how slow a reader I am. Yep, all about the tangents. That's what you get when you join my stream. Like, you're either gonna get the brain flatlining silence, or you're gonna get tangents. There's no in between. It's one or the other. But, so, what I ended up doing, or, like, I have a gazillion things to talk about. Like, I went on, like, one topic that's context for another topic, that's context for another topic. That's how my brain works. So I'm like trying to piece together like what order I'm wanting to say things in to get to my original points. Okay, so anyway, so in high school I read The Hobbit and I was able to keep up with it relatively. Excuse me. I was able to keep up with it fair enough. Like the climax had me a bit confused. I didn't realize that shit, I forget his name, but like the main dwarf that Bilbo teamed up with, like the group of dwarves that he teamed up with, the main one, I think his name's Boromir. I think that was his name. I didn't realize that it didn't register for me that the gold was corrupting him. That didn't register for me. I just thought, wow, he's being an asshole. And that's all I thought of it. I just wrote it off as him being an asshole. I didn't realize he was being corrupted by the gold. So, you know, there's that. But for the most part, I was able to keep up with the book. I forget if I think I read the book after the first movie came out. I've never actually seen the second Hobbit movie. So that's definitely part of why the second half of the story didn't register for me, because when I was reading the first half of the story, I had the context of the movie. So I had like a visual crutch to help me understand when I was confused by reading. But yeah, the second half of the story just had me a little confused, but I was able to get through it enough. And then I was like, okay, I've read The Hobbit, so now I should read Lord of the Rings. It should be easy. I've seen the movies. Kinda. Okay, it's more like I've seen the first movie and then part of the second movie, and that's it. But it's enough context. I'm sure I can read the book. So I finished reading The Hobbit, I put it on my bookshelf, I grab my copy of Lord of the Rings, I take it to high school, we're in class, I've got free time after doing an assignment, I pull it out of my backpack and I'm like, alright, time to start reading Lord of the Rings. I open the first page, and I am immediately overwhelmed by Tolkien's writing style. And I'm just like, what is this? What words? Huh? What is the wording and punctuation and grammar and all the things? Why aren't there regular quotation marks? I got so confused and overwhelmed, I just shut the book and was like, I think I'm gonna find another book. Maybe put this one off for a few years. Maybe when I'm older, I'll be able to tackle it. It's been years now, and it's still on my shelf, and I still haven't I still haven't tried reading it again yet. I want to. I plan to. Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna have enough of the deep slate for this. Oh, I knew I should have farmed more. But anyway, so, point is, I'm a very slow reader, and I have trouble wrapping my head around things, and at the beginning of this, the whole tangent about high school was context for, I first tried reading Bunflower's fanfiction, Bones in the Ocean, and I read the first chapter, and I could not wrap my head around it, despite the fact that her writing style is one I have a better time wrapping my head around. Because I just have trouble reading in general. I've had the problem since I was a kid. I have trouble with reading, as I've said many times, and depending on the writing style, it will make reading more difficult for me. I will, like, no matter what, if I'm handed a book, whether I'm being forced to read it for school, or I choose to read the book of my own volition, doesn't matter. If it's a lot of words on a page, I have trouble reading it. But the more difficult the writing style, the more I struggle, which is why I didn't even try tackling Lord of the Rings in high school. I realized it wasn't going to be something I could wrap my head around, so I tagged out. I still want to read it someday, but I haven't yet. But anyway, so, Bones in the Ocean, Bunflower has a writing style that I can digest relatively well, but regardless, I still have trouble reading. So, yep, one day, just not today. I'm in the middle of reading one book, actually, and I'm a very, very slow reader. But anyway, so I had trouble reading Bunflower's style just in my head to myself. But then I noticed I didn't actually read Passerine. I listened to Passerine podcasts, audio of it, and that got me thinking, what if I read it out loud to myself? So I tried reading Bones in the Ocean out loud, and not only was it just fun from a voice acting standpoint, but it was also just way easier for me to digest. Like, I was just able to comprehend it better if I hear it. And actually, same thing, there was this book that I bought years ago that I really wanted to read called Asylum. It was like this trilogy that I read, and it was really good. I really liked it. And I read the first book, and again, I had trouble comprehending certain moments of the book, but then just for funsies, I bought and downloaded the audiobook, and I listened to that. Yep, audio-based style. That definitely seems to be what works for me. And I listened to the audiobook after I finished reading it, and there were certain scenes that kind of pieced together for me. So I think from now on, I'm gonna read books out loud to myself, because not only is it fun because I like voice acting, but it's just easier for me to comprehend. So that is all context for the fact that I really struggle with subtitles in anime, because I can't exactly read those out loud because I'm trying to listen to the dialogue and the voice acting and the music. So I'm trying to focus on that, which is in another language, while trying to read the subtitles. So I can't comprehend it all, and I really, really struggle with wrapping my head around the stuff. So, like, when I was watching the last few episodes of Moriarty the Patriot, they were talking about all this sort of stuff, and I was just kind of sitting there going, I have no idea what the fuck is going on. And I was just like, can the Can the rest of the dub just be released already, please? I don't know what's going on. I was so confused. Okay. Now, we're about to find out if I have enough of the deep slate or not. We're about to find out. I'm not holding my breath, though. Anyway, so, I'm really hoping that they release part 2 of the dub really soon, because it's just, thank you for your faith. I hope I have enough, that would be awesome. We'll see, though. I might. Who knows? How funny, but also upsetting would it be if I was just, like, maybe a small handful short? Like, if I finished and I just needed 2 more blocks. That would be so frustrating, but at the same time, that would be relatively easy to just collect real quick. Anyway, so I'm hoping that they release part 2 of the Moriarty the Patriot dub, so I can re-watch it and have a better comprehension, of what's going on. Because there were certain scenes that had me a little confused, and I had to re-watch and be like, okay, I think this is what's happening, but I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, hopefully they'll finish the dub soon, because not only will it be easier for me to comprehend, I also just really like the English voice actors. I don't know how familiar you are with anime and certain anime, but in Full Metal Alchemist, I haven't actually ever watched Full Metal Alchemist, but I know it's like one of the granddaddy animes that a lot of people talk about and love. I've heard so many good things about it, but I've just never gotten around to watching it. But I've heard nothing but good things about it. And I know about certain scenes about little girls and puppies that haunt me to this day. I'm gonna kick that man's ass. Yeah, exactly. A librarian desk. That's exactly what I'm going for. That's exactly the design I want. Whoops. That's the idea. But, fun fact. Yeah, Full Metal Alchemist gets dark. I haven't seen the whole anime, but I've seen, like, that scene enough. Like, that scene told me everything I needed to know about how dark that anime gets. That is all I needed to know. Holy shit. Yeah, that broke my heart. Like, I haven't watched the anime, don't have much context, haven't really seen much of the characters other than that scene, but it still just upset me so much. But, fun fact, in the dub of Full Metal Alchemist, the kid that played Alphonse, he is the guy who voices Moriarty in Moriarty the Patriot. And I listened, just for funsies, I listened to him voice acting Alphonse and Moriarty back to back. Holy fuck, puberty hit that kid like a train. It is insane. Like, if you listen to Alphonse and Moriarty back to back, it just doesn't even sound like the same person. It is just crazy and so cool. Yeah, he's still in the voice acting business. I had, like, all 4 years of high school, I had quite the fangirl phases. Like, like, every year of high school, a new obsession. There was a new obsession every year of high school. It changed. So let me think. Freshman year, it was Legend of Zelda, which I still like to this day, but it's not a hardcore obsession that, like, takes over a whole year of my life anymore. It's just something that will catch my interest and I'll focus on for a little bit every now and then, but it doesn't have my obsession like it did back freshman year of high school. Sophomore year was the Digimon phase. Digimon, specifically Digimon Frontier. Yep, that is exactly how ADD goes. Yep, that is precisely right. I have hardcore ADD. I've had it for years. And my goodness, when it comes to obsessions and interests, it rules my life. Sophomore year was the Digimon phase, specifically Digimon Frontier. And fun fact, that is actually when I first started getting... This was around the time I first started getting into cosplay. My first cosplay ever... Well, actually, my first cosplay ever was Colette from Tales of Symphonia. But I didn't really full-on get into cosplay until I was 14, and my first cosplay, technically, was Vio from the Legend of Zelda Four Swords manga. Fun fact, there is Legend of Zelda manga. I highly recommend it. It's amazing. It is all so good. I have like the full collection. They've got like Ocarina of Time, Four Swords. There's like a 9-volume series of Twilight Princess, and it's really good. So yeah, I definitely, if you like Legend of Zelda, I highly recommend the Legend of Zelda manga. There's that. Okay, so this is how much we're working with. Now the question is, do I want to continue that? Alright, I'm gonna put off the floor for at least a little bit, and I'm gonna work on the walls a little bit. Might as well. So, let me get this situated. Let's see. Junior year of high school. Junior year of high school was when I became obsessed with this little anime called Inazuma 11 Go, which is a soccer anime with the most ridiculous fucking premise. So, I can go on a tangent about how I feel about this. Oh my god. Inazuma 11. Oh, I have things to say about this one. So basically the premise is, God, how the fuck do I even explain? Okay, well, there was originally Inazuma 11, which was its own thing, and I have no idea what was going on in that one. I just know it was a soccer anime. But Inazuma 11 Go is basically the next generation. Yep, sports anime. I've never been a big sports anime person, but that one caught my attention. Let me just... Okay, yeah, I did get it right. So basically, Inazuma 11 Go is basically the next generation from the original Inazuma 11. So, like, all the characters who were kids in Inazuma 11 are now adults in Inazuma 11 Go. And I don't know what the fuck happened in that anime and what changed between the original and Go, but God, something changed because suddenly there's this weird government dictatorship thing that revolves around soccer, and now games are game results are now predetermined, so like kids' schools are given the scores ahead of time and are like, okay, this is how the game's gonna go. You're gonna win with this many points and this team's gonna lose with this many points. Make that happen. And then the kids are required to make it follow the criteria, or they get punished. It's this whole thing, it's this weird thing, and they've got some kids that are trained in soccer and basically just like use soccer to basically beat the shit out of each other if certain people don't comply. And they have special magical abilities revolving around soccer that they can do, so they've got these crazy cool tricks, and they can summon these creatures with soccer that amplify their skills. It's weird. It's a whole thing. Oh, well, also, fun fact, the anime has a kick-ass soundtrack. The soundtrack is so good. The soundtrack is so good. I can't tell you throughout high school how many times I just listened to the soundtrack. The soundtrack is so good. But, basically the game, or not the game, well, I mean, there is a game, but, the anime focuses on the main character, Matsukaze Tenma, who I've also cosplayed as. And he wants to play soccer just for fun. He just wants to, do what I think would be normal for a kid, which is just play the sport for the fun of it and have a good time. But the government is all like, no, you don't get to have fun with soccer. Soccer that you like is dead. And like all of these kids are either pissed off or depressed, and they're just like, why do we even play soccer anymore? There's no point. And there's this weird dictatorship where they're all like, no, we can't do anything or we'll get in trouble. And it's just ridiculous. And just the whole thing is just ridiculous, so it slowly turns into this revolution about these kids who were like, okay, we're gonna go against the predetermined scores, and we're gonna win, and we're gonna get to championships, all while these other kids are, on the other teams, are basically told, alright, beat the shit out of them with soccer. And they eventually do win, and like the antagonist kid who's sent to be a problem, he ends up joining their team eventually. His name is Kyosuke, and he was really cool. He was my favorite character. I was a huge fan of him, and he was like the angsty, angry kid. Anyway, he does change sides eventually. But now here's the thing. Here's the thing about this anime. Okay, so government dictated soccer. Sounds weird, but okay. Okay. Surely it can't get weirder than that, right? Let us move on to the next spin-off of Inazuma 11 Go. Next we have Inazuma 11 Go Chrono Stone. Soccer meets time travel. I'm not fucking kidding. This is how it goes. Okay, so the government no longer controls soccer. Kids can now play, and the scores are whatever it is based off their efforts and not predetermined for whatever. I don't even know why the games were predetermined. I don't know what the fucking point of it was. I don't get it. I don't know why they were dictating soccer in the first place, but it was a thing. I don't get it. But anyway, so now there are these new people. There are like these, I don't even know. I don't remember if they're from the future or what, but there were like these future people who travel back in time, and they're like, we're gonna erase soccer, and they're like, no, and Tenma's like, no, you can't do that. So he ends up teaming with his friends, and this talking bear, and this one kid who's got hair like bunny ears, who can like create a soccer team that are like clones of himself, but not clones because they look nothing like him. But that's the best I can explain it as. Yep, timey-wimey tomfoolery. Oh, I haven't even gotten to the second spin-off after Chrono Stone. Just wait. It gets even weirder than fucking time travel. Just wait. Let me explain Chrono Stone, and then I'll explain the next one. But anyway, so, after that, they end up going to different time periods, and they learn of this new ability that they can do, because like I said, they had these special abilities. I forget what they're called, but they had these special abilities to help amplify their soccer skills. And they learned of a new one that this bear can do with the technology he has called mix-maxing, or something like that. I forget what it is. But they go to different time periods, and they find figures from history and do this mix-max ability thing that gives them, like, the power of these people from history. And I don't remember all of the characters that they meet, but I think one of them mixes with a dinosaur, and two of the characters mix with characters from Japanese history, and Tenma himself mixes with King Arthur. Yeah, exactly. It is a bit absurd. It is very absurd. There's actually this one scene that really tugged on my heartstrings, and there's this one girl that becomes a member of the team, and she's really cute and sweet, but she reveals she's actually from the future, and the kid with the bunny ear hair that I told you about, she is revealed to be his mother from the future, who dies of illness. And there's this scene where he travels to shortly before she passes away, and they have this really cute bonding moment. It really tugged on my heartstrings. But anyway, so that's that. That is Chrono Stone. Now get ready for the third and final one, which is Inazuma 11 Go galaxy, and it was a clip of that. Basically, these aliens show up, and they're like, we're having a competition. And all different species from different planets have to play in this soccer tournament, and the losers, their planet is destroyed. And you children in middle school, you're going to represent Earth and play soccer for us. And they're all like, okay. Oh, I see what I did wrong. Oh, I know what I did wrong. Okay, I messed up something in my design. Whoops. I'm gonna have to fix that. I made an oops. There was a part of my design I forgot to include. I'm gonna have to fix that real quick. Anyway, so basically, yeah, it is a bizarre-ass anime. And I never actually finished watching it, but there's this whole ordeal where there's an alien princess, Kyosuke gets abducted, and there's this doppelganger that shows up in his place, and he ends up teaming up with the aliens and competing against Tenma. It's this whole thing. And then the coach. This is the most absurd part of the fucking anime of Galaxy. Their coach, he goes with them to space, and he ends up joining the soccer game and playing in an attempt to become the god of soccer. I am not joking. That was his end goal, to become the god of soccer. And I can't wrap my head around it. I can't. It is the weirdest fucking anime. I don't even remember how it ends. I don't remember how it ends. That's as far as I got. Before I lost interest. But, anyway, so Inazuma 11 was my obsession in junior year of high school. Was that crackhead of an anime. But next, my senior year of high school, God, it's just in the heat of talking about Inazuma 11 go, what was the anime I was into in senior year? Fuck, I don't even remember. Oh, it was Yu-Gi-Oh! It was Yu-Gi-Oh! The whole point of me going on this tangent was it was my senior year of high school, and that's when I got into Yu-Gi-Oh! And then when I went to a convention, and I didn't realize until after that Seto Kaiba's voice actor was there. That's what it was. Anyway, so there's that. Okay, I figured out what was wrong. There we go, that's right. That was what was wrong. Problem solved. In other news, anime related, oops, that's the wrong button. I started watching the case study of Vanitas, and by started, I mean I binge watched the whole thing in 2 days. In fact, I finished watching it earlier today before I was streaming. So, I was watching that, and it's a really good anime. I was hooked. I'm gonna add some more texture. I'm wanting to add some cracked stone, like kind of splattered throughout the build, because you can get both these blocks and these blocks with cracks in them. So, like more towards the tail end of the build, I'm gonna get some of those to help, give it a little more texture and variety. Alright, so definitely what I want to focus on right now is I want to get the rest of the floor finished, and just with dirt or whatever, I want to build out the center pillar where the villagers are gonna go. Basically, what's gonna happen is there's gonna be a pillar in the center right here, and on each of the 4 sides, there's gonna be a village trade and a librarian, and then there's gonna be a second floor where the pillar continues up, and on the second floor, there's gonna be 4 more villagers. I binge watched the case study of Vanitas, and it's really good. I loved it. It was hilarious. It made me laugh a lot. It was so fucking funny. I was just having a great time with it, and I love the art style. I believe it's by the same creator who made Pandora Hearts, which is an anime I watched back in middle school. That was one of the early animes that I was really into. What all anime have I watched? Since we're on the topic of anime. The first ever anime I watched, and is still my favorite to this day, is Sailor Moon. I loved Sailor Moon as a kid, and it has a very special place in my heart. Especially because my mom and I watched it all the time, and my grandma watched it with us too sometimes. But I can't help but think about Sailor Moon without thinking of my mom. Especially because she still quotes Sailor Moon to this day. It has been years since then, and my mom still quotes Sailor Moon. Like, to give you an idea, basically, the old intro sequence to the old dub, the old Sailor Moon dub, from back in the early 2000s by the company Dick. In the original opening theme, they had the one line, "She is the one named Sailor Moon." That was the line in the anime. And my mom, to this day, still quotes it. Like, if she asks you for something, for example, if she asks you for, like, a mug, if she asks you, like, "Hey, can you hand me my mug?" And I were to go into the kitchen and pick up a mug and go, "This mug?" She'd go, "Yep, that's the one, named Sailor Mug." That's what she does. She does that with everything. That's the one named Sailor Mug. That's the one named Sailor Puppy. That's the one named Sailor Mop. Anything and everything can be a Sailor Scout in my mother's eyes. Anything can be a Sailor Scout. There was this whole bullshit with 4Kids. The dub that they did of it is the writing was always bad, but it's way worse than I remember, because I rewatched some clips of it. It is way worse than I remember. Well, first of all, this is the anime that's infamous for making the lesbian couple cousins. So, you know. Which I find really funny, because they were so worried about, you know, kids seeing, oh, God forbid, a gay couple. Oh, alert the media. Oh my god, it's so stupid. Anyway, they were so worried about kids seeing a gay couple, they weren't worried about their writing of the characters making it look like incest. And that's what it ended up coming off as. It ended up seeming like incest. In fact, years later, I told my mom, "Hey, did you know they were originally lesbians and 4Kids wrote them to be cousins?" And my mother's response was, "They always seemed a little too close to be cousins to me." So, Sailor Moon was the first anime I ever watched as a kid. I watched a little bit of Tokyo Mew Mew as a kid, but not much. But it was there. It was technically a part of my childhood. I didn't really get into any other anime until middle school, and I just kind of liked them as shows. I didn't really think of them as a genre. I didn't think of anime as a thing back then. But then, in middle school, I started watching Tales of Symphonia. And that's when I officially became a weeb. So I watched Tales of Symphonia, and that was really good. That was an obsession for a while, actually. That was a middle school obsession. And, I also watched Pandora Hearts, which was, if I recall, by the same creator who's made the case study of Vanitas, which makes sense, because they definitely have similar styles and that sort of thing. And the music reminds me of Pandora Hearts soundtrack, but it also reminds me of Madoka Magica, which I also watched, which was really good. Heartbreaking, but good. I love Madoka Magica, as heartbreaking as it may be. Let's see, Madoka Magica. What other anime have I watched? You know, since we're on the topic, and we're in this deep, might as well keep going. What other anime have I watched? Why don't I just look at the manga on my shelf beside me, and see what else is up here? Hunter x Hunter. Ooh, I love that. Like, of all the classic old school anime, like the OG anime, that's the one I'm into. Because, you know, like, there's all of the big OG anime, you know, like Full Metal Alchemist, and that kind of stuff. Mine was Hunter x Hunter. I love Hunter x Hunter. Kurapika is my favorite character. I love him. I love him so much. And I know they made a remake in 2015, but honestly, I prefer the 1999 version. I want to rewatch it sometime, actually. I loved it. It was so good. What other anime do I watch? Madoka Magica. I established Madoka Magica. Like, that one. That's like, the Attack on Titan version of Magical Girls. Where they're just like, oh, you think this is gonna be a cute, fun, happy anime about girls with magic and friendship? Nope! Get ready for depression and agony. Yep, yeah. Madoka Magica. Oh boy, that one's intense. I have a set of figurines of Madoka and Homura on my shelf. Like they're figures of them in their god and devil forms. That I was really happy with in the movie. I don't know if it's considered a movie not, but basically where Homura becomes a demon and makes Kyubey her bitch. It made me so happy. She was just like, nah, you're not going anywhere. Because, you know, like, she turns into a demon and pulls Madoka down from heaven in the name of love. Like a really twisted, holy shit, you need therapy kind of love, but love nonetheless. And Kyubey's just like, okay, I think we underestimated these humans. I think we're gonna look for our research elsewhere. And Homura's just like, yeah, no, you made this mess, you're gonna help me fix it. True, very true. Kyubey had it coming. That little shit had it coming from the beginning. I was so happy Homura made him her bitch. Like, seriously, fuck that guy. So let me just... There we go. Okay, let me make sure I'm doing this right. Oops. Oops. Alright, let me build this all the way up to the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Okay. Alright, so, back here is going to be bookshelves behind the 4 guys. Like right here. And then the lecterns are gonna be right here. So I'm gonna have to collect those. Alright, let's see. I think this is gonna be where we wrap up for the day, because I still need to collect some more materials, and my mom's probably gonna be home with food soon. That's all for today's episode. As always, thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I hope you guys are enjoying my videos. I'll see you guys next episode. Take care!